Not this microphone. Raise a siren.
There we go.
There you go.
Yay.
You can hear now.
Yay. As I said, but you couldn't hear, guys. Welcome
You've still got a stream going.
What?
You've got a stream running in the background.
Yeah, so
Hey!
Welcome to the stream. Yeah, it's okay. The first minute is always a little bit problematic, but welcome to the stream, guys, and very happy to see you. So, as I've said, while you couldn't hear, it's the last stream of the year, the East Coastway. Probably the most exciting route for trains in the world so far, and I'm sure you are as excited as we are, because you can obviously see on Matt's face how excited he is. Yes, exactly.
The pink headset is extra pink today.
Yes, and we're gonna jump straight into the game while you're still seeing our faces. We'll wait until the game loads. While we're here, just to be clear and make it clear for everyone, the route already started rolling out on consoles. Should already be available in some countries like Australia. So it obviously launches at midnight local time. So very soon, even the people in the UK will be able to play it. Steam launch will be tomorrow at 6 p.m. Together with another TS1 release also at 6 p.m. So it's a little bit troublesome for us, but other than that, everything's going fine so far. It's been great seeing feedback on the route, and I think our chat is broken almost immediately. Both of them. Oh my god! What a calamity.
We haven't even started and the chat already broke. Bear with us, folks.
Okay. Now we can. Yeah. Is it working? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Right. If you're having trouble with audio, if anyone says they're having trouble with audio, can you just recommend that they just refresh the stream?
Yeah.
Or maybe something like that, because audio is working. We can see it sending, so if you can't hear it, then...
Yeah, just let us know if there are any problems, because it's a little bit tricky seeing from here.
Check to make sure you haven't muted the stream as well, because that's happened before.
Yeah, give me a second. I'm just trying to get it all sorted.
My chat has gone to sleep. The app has crashed. Let's do this instead of playing East Coastway for a bit.
Yeah, I think that would be a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Fingers crossed there won't be any problems like these anymore. Yeah, all good with the sound. Do I have the restream on my phone just in case? I do. Chat. Alright, let's just switch to the game. Let people see everything. Because obviously you don't want to look at us all evening.
British Railways Locos is Headsway available for console? Yes, it launched on console yesterday. In fact, PC owners should have it now as well.
Yeah, so patches have been distributed. I think yesterday that was the first one, and for consoles, and the PC patch came today. Obviously, they do not allow you to play the new route yet, but you get all the features that are included in the update. It's a big update. We've got the whole changelog with us here in the streaming room, and Matt will be referencing it occasionally, or maybe we'll go in even through the whole list, just flagging something interesting. But without further ado, let's look at the brand new route. And this is the new key art. It looks a little bit different, as you can see. It's taken from the driver's perspective. So we have our usual features: journeys, training scenarios, and timetables. So we have journeys for both 377 and the Class 66. We have all our normal tutorials, and we have scenarios as usual, quite a lot of them. Well, as usual, 5 actually. They're quite interesting. I'm not going to tell you a lot. Just
some interesting variations there. They've done some clever stuff on some of those.
Yeah, so if the first thing you'll notice going to the services is a bunch of locomotives at the
Look at all of those trains.
So can you, Matt, explain us why are they here?
So you've got services for the Class 377 and services for the Class 66. Those are your core services. If you own Leeds Manchester, it will enable a rail tour service. It's one service, it will enable a rail tour service, and that one service can be run by any loco from Leeds, and it can be run from any loco on Tees Valley, and any of the DLCs for those ones. So essentially the BR Blue era stock. Doesn't work with the West Summer stuff yet because of air vacuum reasons, but these are all air brake stock, so it works. And it's basically a train where you'll be running Mark II stock from Lewes to, I think, Eastbourne.
Yeah.
And it's a top and tail train, if I remember rightly. You've got a 66 on the back end, and you've got whatever you pick on the front. So it's just it's a really nice novelty that just lets you use one of these trains from the other routes that you've got and run it in a different setting. So it's quite good fun. It's quite good fun.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. So we're gonna jump straight into the timetable for our Electrostar. So could you please let us know, Matt, how many services do we have in total for this?
Something like 230, 240 services in total for the 377, and then there's 20 or so for the Class 66, and then obviously got the one extra rail tour service, which again only appears if you've got Leeds Manchester.
Yep.
In terms of variety, you've got depot moves. Lovers Walk Depot north of Brighton's included in the route. So there's depot moves in and out of Lovers Walk Depot into Brighton. And then you've got passenger services Brighton to Eastbourne, Brighton to Seaford. You've got Seaford to Brighton, Brighton to Lewes shuttles, which just run backwards and forwards between Brighton and Lewes. So there's a reasonable variety of different types of trains at different types of lengths as well. The Brighton Lewes and Lewes to Brighton shuttle is quite an interesting sequence to play, because you obviously when you get to Lewes you're shutting down the cab end, switching ends, and then heading back to Brighton again. So it's quite cool.
Yep. So we're gonna jump into the first service all the way from Brighton to Eastbourne, and we're gonna run that in the first half of the stream. And as soon as we're finished with that, we're gonna jump into Class 66 and do some action on it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, let's get into it. I mean, you can feel free to make any comments while I'm playing, Matt, and while I'll be setting everything up. As I knew, no comments.
Before you put the reverser off, put the reverser back into neutral, into off. Sorry. If you now stand up and go to the right-hand side of the cab. I'll look up on the wall at the top, on the right hand side. That's it, those there. If you turn all of those on, so click and drag them left, that is all your safety system cutouts. It's one on the bottom left that you now need to do. So that's DRA, DSD, Vigilance and AWS. If you now sit back in the seat and put it into forward, the AWS will go off.
Mm-hmm.
Have we got game sound working? Can you just check on their volumes?
Do you not have any sound?
I can hear it. I don't know whether the stream is doing it.
Yeah. We'll
That's the microphone.
Okay. It seems to be maxed out, guys.
No, it's not doing it. You can't see this doing anything. Click the settings.
Okay.
Properties. Change that to the speakers Realtek high def audio. And change OK. And then pause, see if we get audio. Hey, we got audio! Sorry, that was OBS. It's not the game. Right, so you got all your AWS, all your safety systems turned on. AWS is now activated, so kind of you can get the doors opened. And
yeah, first of all, let's do a very quick fly around, just to show you the Brighton station here.
Welcome to Brighton.
So as you can see, lots and lots of detail in here, very colourful, absolutely stunning, I would even say. But yeah, just gonna fly around just a little bit, just to show you all these little features and all these little areas that you'll eventually will have to go to while playing on this route.
If you want to just show the route map as well, just to highlight to people where the extents of the route are. So you can see Brighton heading, the AI trains can head west out towards Hove, but Hove isn't actually modelled. They can head past Lovers Walk. Preston is actually just above there, but that, again, it's not modelled. The track is that the route doesn't go as far as Preston, but it's there for AI trains to go in and out. And then as you head east, you go over London Road Viaduct, over towards Lewes, which is where the little triangle is over there. Then you've got the branch line where you can head south for New Haven and Seaford down the branch line, or you can head east and go over on the main line down via Stones Cross Junction down to Eastbourne.
Mm-hmm. Right, let's get back into the cab Which platform? Which side of the right?
Now the other thing is, look at the display on the left-hand side. This is the My Tracks display, so this gives you information about what's going on in the loco. So we can set the destination board up on this one. So it tells you when the doors are open. In one of the scenarios, one of the doors gets jammed, and you can see it on here as well, which is quite fun. The other thing is, you'll notice that some of the doors there aren't actually showing, like at the ends, they're like door A and door H, for example, are not showing open because those are the cab doors. So if you just quickly open your left door there, and then look on the My Tracks, you'll see that there's now a door showing open, door H on the bottom there, and if you close it, that'll go back to blue again. So you can, any doors that are open and closed, you can see quickly on the My Tracks display.
Yep.
So you can see what's going on there, and the little white dot on the end there is the cab that's active. So the train displays are in order, and then the white dot will tell you which of the cabs is actually the one that you're active on.
Mm-hmm. So this is our Electrostar up close. As you can see, beautiful detail here. Anyway,
yes, the window opens on the doors. Let's get the windows open while we're here. Enjoy some sounds.
You know what?
That window. That's it.
Funny thing, I actually don't have any sound of the game in my.
Really? It's coming through for me.
You sure it's on? Can you check the connection? There we go.
Excellent. Brand new speakers. Obviously, they don't work properly.
So let's go.
Yeah.
So
notice cab sway as well.
You probably noticed that straight away. There we go. Well, everything good with the sound, guys? Let us know. Is the chat been working?
Seems to be working. So you've got Lovers Walk Depot there on the left-hand side. We're now heading east, or turning east, and we're going to over London Road Viaduct, which is a really iconic part of this route. There's, if you've got any photographs of this area or paintings of the area, it's usually London Road Viaduct that is that you can see. This then brings us into London Road Station, although we're not stopping at London Road, we're going straight through to Falmer. Can you open the centre door in the cab? Yeah, actually what we'll do is at some point in the stream we'll show you actually how to convert a cab end into a corridor end for if you're joining or breaking trains, or separating trains, not breaking them. So yeah, you can. It's actually that door, that panel on the right hand side swings to as part of the closing. Don Wibley, what programming language used for Railworks and TSW? That's C++, which is fairly industry standard in gaming industry. Is cab sway applied to all other trains? Yes, indeed it is, Bolt Railway Dog. What coaches are used for the rail tour? The Mark IIs that come in Leeds. What year is this based in? It's not strictly modern, but it's sort of. Pretty close. Pretty close. Can we get high-low horn? Externally? There are no train faults simulated, no, Gary Traveller. Captain Jenks, this just fell into your basket, did it? Oh no. Good man, hope you enjoy it. .8 miles to Falmer. Can you try control space? No, okay. Will there be more Train Sim World DLC added to Train Sim World in the future? Absolutely. Train Spotting and Gaming.
If you guys have any questions about the patch, let us know and ask away, because it's the best opportunity to do so.
So one little tip I'll give you, that it came up a number of times in beta testing and so forth, and I fell over it myself. When you go to operate the DRA, if the DRA doesn't work, it's because you forgot to unisolate it, which we did at the beginning. We unisolated all the safety systems. But it's easy to forget, because normally DRA just works, but it's on an isolation switch now. Workers next to the tracks is in one of the scenarios with the Class 66. Does the depot whistle work? If I knew where the switch was for the depot whistle, I'd tell you, but I don't know. I can't remember where the switch is. It'd be on here somewhere. Does a train sway while sitting in the passenger seats too? So you don't feel suspension, because in AI, if you're not driving the train, then suspension physics isn't enabled for performance reasons. But you will feel like the slowing down, speeding up, and the going around corners type things. Cruise control works, yes. Apologies for missing questions. They are flying up the screen.
Yeah, we've got a lot of people watching today.
Bottom right of the driver's panel. Apparently it's a red one.
Sorry?
Look down, bottom right. From zoom in a bit. Looking for one that says depot whistle. It's not there. Look to the left. Oh no, zoom in. There it is. Press that.
That's pretty cool.
We'll be going past the Amex when we get to. Isn't that Falmer? Go external a minute.
This is Falmer, yeah.
And zoom. Go external and fly out a little bit so I can see what's going on. I don't know the area. You see, doesn't feel like this is where we would expect it. Someone remind me what station we're going to expect to see Falmer. The Amex.
This East Coastway will cost $24.99 in the UK.
Amex is apparently on the right. Let's get external and just have another look. It's a key part of the route, so make sure people see it. There it is. That huge thing. How do you get two turns outside the cab? You can't, because the controller only has the low or the high tone, one of the two. There's a limited number of buttons on a controller, so. .7 miles heading now for Lewis. Lewis is a little bit interesting because it's got 10 mile an hour speed limit, which is just an absolute joy. Maybe use camera 3 so we can see some of the countryside as well. I think the team have really captured some of the rolling hills and fields and things in the area quite nicely.
We're going to go a little bit further before we
do that.
Got an achievement, Brighton's best.
I think this needs resetting. And this one's died as well.
Oh, wow.
Oh, chat suddenly caught up. Does the blind on the left side go down and up? I believe so.
Blind, yeah.
Yeah, that goes up and down. You can even turn the air conditioner on. There's a switch on the top left there. I mean, if you really want to.
I want to. 4 feet. Let's go.
Almost at Lewis. Not ignoring anybody, Nicholas, but the chat is intermittently working and not working in all sorts of random places, so I am missing what people are saying. By all means, ask your question again. 822 Steam. I believe there are services where you connect and uncouple, yes. Can't remember which ones they are, but I'm sure I remember seeing it. My top 3 things changed in the recent update? Core. Dunno. Obviously camera motion sway figures fairly high on that list.
Can you tell us about this a little bit, Matt? Because obviously we've talked about this on the forums and Discord, but maybe the people who are watching for the first time, they don't know how is it that you've implemented head sway and what it actually is.
So if you imagine that sitting on the driver's seat, there's a stick, right? And as the train accelerates, the stick uses physics will make the stick go back. And as the train goes around a corner, so the stick will move around. There's a little bit more to it than that, but fundamentally that's kind of what's happening. And then there's inertia and dampening, so that it doesn't do this, for example. It'll right itself back again sensibly. It also looks at what you're doing in terms of G-force going around super elevation. So if you're going around, if the train is level and goes around super elevation slowly, then you stay right upright. But if you go around it fast, then your G-forces will mean that your camera goes around with it as well. And it's quite visible if you're going around a corner and you slow down and stop, you'll notice that your head then rights again as it comes back up. Rustic tripod, yeah, $24.99 on Xbox. It's $24.99 on all platforms, isn't it? UK.
It's UK $24.99, but it's $29.99 in euro and US dollars.
Yeah. How many carriages? I think 4 and 8 cars run on this line, and then they've got some 12-car AI trains running up the main line.
I think you'd be much better off just reading from the phone because this silly app is not updating correctly.
There's a bunch of people asking questions about, will you do X train? When are you going to announce Y train? If it's not been announced officially, then we won't be able to say anything on the stream at the moment. But keep an eye on the usual channels for any announcements of new stock and new routes.
So this is Lewis. Obviously, you can walk around it as well. Anyone recognizes it? Anyone been in Lewis recently?
Nick Farrant says he does.
Seven miles until our next station.
Berwick. What time was this released in the UK? So Cool Gamers, it's for consoles. It's midnight, isn't it?
Yes, it's midnight locally. So if it's UK, then it will be tonight at midnight in the UK on consoles.
Yeah, PC. And then PC Steam will be launching around 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock tomorrow. afternoon.
We've got no plans at the moment to make direct improvements to the current passenger information boards. Someone asked that question. Stalks, but we're always looking at improving features. So we've actually switched to a new system with this one. So previously it was just a flat texture with each of the destinations, and what I meant was you had one big texture with all the destinations, and then as you cycled through the destinations it just picked a different part of the texture to show, which was inherently really limiting because it meant there was only so much texture space, and effectively it was trying to keep this massive 4K texture in memory, which is just really wasteful for showing something so small. So we actually now have a dot matrix rendering system, so it's literally stored in the game just as text now, and then it renders it out to a dot matrix display, which means we can kind of do anything we like. So this is a first iteration of getting the right kind of a display system in, and then the next step will be then doing more with that.
Very glad to hear that.
So we're always improving things, always looking at what we can do to add more. Jake, part of the reason that it doesn't look dotty is just how close you get to it. So, I mean, if you're really up close to these, then they look quite realistic, especially the one on the front, even though the font is a bit big. Actually, it's got the right number of dots. We had a nice close-up photograph of it, and we put the right number of LEDs in it. Oh, Nicholas, you want us to open and close passengers? Do you mean using the buttons on the panel rather than the tab screen? You can't really use passenger view when you're driving as a train without getting off from driving the train and just wandering down the coach. Remember, there's no 5 view on TS World. There's no information displays on the platforms, OG, no. What we're looking at now, distance-wise. 4.5. It's behind my head, so I can't see it. The camera screens aren't functional, no.
Good with the chat so far?
Yeah, I'm trying to keep up with it. What kind of collectibles are there? So there's, I think, a poster, an advert. There is like a cycle maintenance thing. So it's like a foot pump for bicycles that you place, and then there's ticket things which you bring into service by taking the covers off. I don't think we have a service mode timetable in a PDF format for this one. We're going through a bit of a headache trying to get that information back out of the game again. It was done by a really manual process before, but we are working to try and get that coming out properly so we can get it out regularly for everything. No, Schnauzer, we're on the main line bound for Eastbourne. We passed the branch line earlier on. Sim Racing Joe, we're using the keyboard. There is no rail driver support on TSW.
Yeah, just to be clear, we've skipped quite a few stations already, so...
Yeah, this is a Class 1, I think. No, GSMR radio doesn't work. No plans to look at GSMR at the moment, to be honest. Speed set works, Michael Dono. How long have we got left until the next station? 1.6. So we won't mess with it yet, but we'll use the speed set on the next one. ASMR radio is an entirely different thing, Mika. Where is the signal bell, Ed? Oh, there it is, the green button there. You press that green button.
Press this, press that. What do you do?
I don't know, I didn't hear it. Oh, bell bell. Ding ding. Will a cabsway cause FPX drops? It should not, Stalks, but it can be disabled if you don't want the feature. It's just in the settings. And there was asked if we can open the doors by the buttons on the panel rather than the tab screen this time. I've done this before, clearly.
On what, sorry?
Use the buttons, no, the red buttons to open the door. I think it's that one. There you go.
No, you can't come in here, sir. Sir, calm down.
Plans for characters that don't make it on the platform to recognise and open the doors with the platform. We have got a plan for what we want to do with that yet, but we haven't. We've made some progress towards it. It's not actually anywhere near finished yet, though.
Look at the detail. So you lock, I'm assuming...
Use the blue one.
Uh-huh.
And can you put the camera on the platform? Peeps want to hear it accelerate from the outside. Oh, 8 camera.
Too late, we'll do it on the next station.
The switch to turn on AWS, so there's 4 switches that you use the driver's master key for over on the right hand side,
yeah, right here.
up there.
Right here. Don't mind me standing up while driving.
No, because Vigilance might get upset. Oh, sorry, DSD. Polegate.
It is obviously quite shiny, very sunny right now because it's the spring, plus it's like 11 AM, very sunny. there's a huge variety in colors actually on this route when you choose different seasons. Something I've noticed. Really like autumn and summer evening, very beautiful, and winter as well because it's Christmas time, so you might want to play that as well. All chat's working fine?
Nope.
No,
It's gone on the phone and it's not even responding on the phone now. I've enough for a refresh.
so you literally broke my phone now.
No, I haven't broke your phone. Your phone's fine. But that's broken as well. Apologies, folks. We're not seeing chat at the minute. Bear with us. I'll let you know when it's back. Polegate Station puts us fairly close to Eastbourne. Or at least Stones Cross Junction. Polegate, I think, right after Polegate is when you get Stones Cross Junction.
Nothing yet?
It's not even responding. It's trying to load the page, but failing miserably. Oh, and now this app has finally woken up. Do the crossing gates go up and down? No. Will there be more DLC for more trains in the future? Yes. Rail tour details. It's a service from Lewes to Eastbourne, which you can take using Leeds, Manchester or TVL stock hauling Mark II coaches. And it works with any of those trains, plus all the DLCs for those routes as well. What carriages the rail tour run? Mark IIs, BR Blue. What else have we got? Is this electric? Yes, it is. It's DC third rail. EU8 camera this time. When's this going to be released? Tomorrow, 6 PM on PC, and it's available in different regions around midnight on those regions. So in the UK, it'll be midnight. Can you step out of the cab, actually? Go back into the cab, press E, just open that door, and go round to the passengers, and open that door. Just have a look around the cab, the passenger area. Chad's just doing nothing but dying all over the place tonight. I do apologise, folks.
I wish.
You make my local artist sad if you say that.
Okay.
Yep, that'll do. And what we'll do is we'll use speed set coming out of here so that people can see the cruise control working.
Yeah, you'll have to show me that.
So, get going. Make sure you shut all your doors first. You've still got doors open if you look at your My Tracks. That's it. Now your doors are closed.
Yep.
Right, so if we get going. Now this lever, it's this button here, rocker switch. If you just start moving that one to the right, you can see now that's coming up. And you can see the marker here. So if we set that to 35, that's it, and now click the yellow button there. That will now apply speed set. Oh, we might have chat working again, folks. Hang on a minute. Right, it says chat's working. Right, here we go. We've got chat working again. Unfortunately, just as the chat worked, the PC had an issue. It's not our night tonight, is it?
Crazy.
Right,
Sorry,
let's catch
guys,
up.
Give us. Oh my god.
Let's have a look. What questions have you got, folks? What questions have you got? While we get the game, what questions did I miss? And what comments did I miss while the chat was down?
We're literally 2 minutes away from Eastbourne.
If we just spawn at Eastbourne on foot, so that we can just have a look around and show people Eastbourne. The 3770 functioning hazard lights, yes, it does. It does have functioning depot whistle, yes, it does. Guard operation isn't really a feature of the game IS specs, so no, it's not in there. Does it have a foot warmer? I don't think so. If it does, it doesn't have a working one, I can guarantee that. I suggest you buy your own foot warmer. It's more effective. 6 PM on Steam, human. Apologies while I'm looking down, folks. I'm trying. I've got chat up on Dimitri's phone, and I'm just trying to read the questions. The microphone sounds bad. Bad microphone. We'll have a look at the playback later on and see what it sounds like.
Yeah, so I, as you can see, I loaded up evening just to try and kind of show you what the route looks like in different conditions. Although this is a little bit too dark, I guess. It's a little bit too dark.
It is an interesting opportunity, however. If you go back into the cab and stand up. Right, so let's switch it over to as if this was an end car. So, sorry, a corridor connection. So if you shut the door and stand in the middle, and you need to close the door in front of you. That's it. And you can open that door, and then you can open that door, and then shut the sliding door for the second man. That's it. So that's now a corridor connection. You do that on the other loco as well, and then you then have the walkthrough for both of them. You can climb back up on that as well.
Glorious. All I have to say, all I can say, glorious. Okay, let's just run around the Eastbourne, I suppose. On our
if you run to the north of Eastbound, because there is the depot at the other end. Actually, this is the.
Where were they?
So the depot's at the north end of the platform. It does have functioning DRA, Nick. You just have to unisolate it before you start.
Wow, this is beautiful. I love this. Where are we going?
Just keep looking north. Just walk right up to the end of the platform. It's not much of a depot, but there's train wash facilities up there, and some of the features. So some of the depot moves are actually in Eastbourne Depot. So if you press 9 and just look at the map view, you can see that there's sidings and things up here, and there's train wash facilities, and those get used in service mode as well. So you'll be doing all that stuff. Do you die if you step on the third rail? No, you don't. The assumption is that your player is clever enough not to do that.
Alright, so I think it's enough for 377, guys. We'll leave...
One more, before we go in there, go into the cab. Let's just remind people how to unisolate safety systems. So it's up here on the right hand side, so you click and drag them left. And then on the bottom left. That's it. So that's AWS, DSD, Vigilance, and DRA.
Pretty cool sound they make as well. Yeah, so we'll let you explore the 377 tomorrow. And we're just gonna go and jump straight into Class 66. It's gonna be exciting.
Go switch livery. Left hand one, yeah.
Oh, not snow, please. Let's do a summer there, okay? Just double checking. Yeah, correct one?
Yep.
Okay, so I think it was this one. So Acton Yard to New Haven aggregates.
Can the doors be operated by buttons in the cab? I'm assuming, yeah, there's the door open and door close buttons on the desk for left and right sides. Same as is on most of the multiple units that we've done.
So I guess we can quickly go through differences.
Yeah, so this is the. Let me just pull up the change list. Let me just waffle for a minute. So on the East Coastway Class 66, you've now got passenger goods brake timing switching. So let me just have the controls a moment. So up here on the EM2000, you've got brake timing. So if you move the arrow over, you notice this has had an overhaul. It's got a different display on it as well. The font's changed, the colours have changed, so they look more appropriate. If you switch to brake timing, you can now switch between passenger timing and goods timing, and you can see which one is active by looking at the lights down here. So we're on passenger mode at the moment. If you click that, then that switches it to goods timing. So you can see what's going on there. We'll leave it on passenger. If you're running the train with multiple locos in there, then you may need to cut in or cut out the brakes. Cut in means that the brakes will work. Cut out means the brakes will not work. And that means that you've got something else, like another Class 66, which is driving the brakes. In this particular instance, we're going to leave them cut in. But on one of the scenarios, for example, you're a top and tail train with 66s, and the scenario you'll need to cut out one end, especially as you change ends in one point. Yeah, that's that change. So the HUD, this brake gauge down here was showing the wrong value. It was showing the main resistance of the brake pipe, so that's fixed. Particle emitters have been changed. They've been upgraded to the current way we do them. EWS livery loco numbers weren't formatted correctly when you looked externally, so that's been fixed. Brake cutout, attenuation for sound cues in the cab. There was a huge long description from the audio team, and it's about spatializing of sounds in external and internal views, and I kind of lost the plot at that point. So sounds stuff. TPWS lights not working properly in cab 2 is fixed. Snow build-up working on the Class 66 interior, it's fixed. Cab brake control needles weren't mapped correctly, that's fixed. Lighting setup for shadow casters on the main headlights has been improved. And the AWS Sunflower not working on some of the cabs has been fixed. And lastly, the airflow meter. When you release the brakes, the airflow meter wasn't working correctly, or it wasn't working ideally, so that's now been improved as well. So you can see that once the airflow, you'll see it goes beyond 10, which is how it's supposed to work. Am I just reading through change lists? Yes, I am, mate.
I think we're mostly ready to set up, although we still got a red light.
Yeah, we'll have to wait. There's at least another 1 or 2 trains before we can go. Can you still spin the wheels and create sparks? Yeah, if you just partially release the brakes, disable most of the traction motors, and give it full throttle, then you'll just sit and spin and generate sparks. And the Class C77 does have hazard lights, yes. Nick Farrant, what are you up arrowing to? Are you all up arrowing to something? I don't know what you're up arrowing to. How many freight services are there? I think there are 3 freight services. So there's a freight service from Lewis to New Haven Depot. You then another service for doing the loading and runarounds, and then another service for bringing it back up. And then those 3 are repeated a number of times during the day, so you can run it in at different times. There's AI trains that use those platforms, yes, Casper Gray. Release date for Xbox, George Drake, is midnight in whatever country you're in, or thereabouts. What made us pick this route? We wanted to do something southern region. We looked at a number of different options. There were a number of complexities in terms of licensing, but what we wanted to do something different that we hadn't done before. and everyone was really keen on having a look at this route, and that they doing something on the south coast out of Brighton, which also then gives us, now we've built Brighton and Brighton Station, gives us a springboard to potentially head north at some point out of Brighton. So this track here that you're on here at Lewes, this one is the one that heads up to the Brighton main line. I think it's Wivelsfield, someone will correct me if I'm wrong there, up on the Brighton main line. So next time you're running London to Brighton on the on TS 2020 at Wivelsfield, there's a junction that heads off left if you're going south, and then that eventually ends up here at Lewes.
Yeah, I think they're soon going to let us out.
We're a freight train. We're just after everybody. Kema Junction and Wivelsfield. That's it, Mikey Farr. What questions am I missing? Is service mode based off the real timetable? Is there more or less services? I'm not 100% sure on that. I mean, we generally base our stuff on the real timetables, but to actually replicate the full timetable is quite tricky. So it's the same sort of service patterns, I think, is the intention. A lot of the types of services you should see on here, whether it's exactly at 11:42 this train arrives at this station, I wouldn't want to say that it was that accurate.
We could show you the passenger harbour in Seaford, but I think we might do it after this this service. At the very end, we had an idea of actually going running a HST for a little bit as well, just to show you the effects that the headsway has on when you're moving at a high speed.
Can you open the window so we can make sure we get lots of nice sounds?
Set up.
If you go for the team, we're really happy with the routes that are being produced. They're really enjoying actually making the routes. Yeah, I mean, players are always looking for more variety, and that's why it's all, you know, with different types of routes, different types of trains doing different types of things. It'll be quite a while, I think, before everyone thinks, yeah, that's one of everything. There's so much variety in the real world. Ferramero, so the brakes on the M7 are specifically not supposed to work. Sorry, not the brakes. The doors won't work if you're not in a brake setting. So that is by design. That's according to the manual. The brakes must be in a brake setting of some sort before they'll do anything. Leo Martin, yes, we just ran the 377. Can you use the buttons at the individual doors? Do you mean walking down the train and clicking on the door? That works, yeah, same as it does in all add-ons. You can't use My Track to lock out doors. Right, chat's died again, so I'm seeing if the phone still works. Oh, restream, why? Does it have the ghost service to New Haven Marine? I don't know, Andre, actually. I know that there's a service where you start at New Haven Marine. A railway maintenance game mode where you work on the tracks. No plans to do that at the moment, Transport Flick. I haven't got Restream set up on my phone, Tordek. I should probably do that.
Well, I don't have it set up. It's just,
Oh yeah, he hasn't.
It's just a browser.
Sound the horn, they say. But Mika the designer, we're using the Restream chat because we're on Twitch, YouTube and Mixer, and so it combines the chat from all of those into one thing. Otherwise we'd have to have multiple chat applications open. There are 700 plus people watching the stream across different platforms, so we need to watch all the different chats, which is why this is quite handy when it works. So the 66 on GWE has had some updates, but nowhere near as many as East Coastway one yet. We are looking at when we can fit a retrofit back onto there. So for example, GWE Class 66 had problems with the way characters were mapped onto the seat, so that's been fixed. There's a bunch of optimizations been done to bring it up to current best practices. The HUD now shows the target speed marker if slow speed control is activated. So when we'll do that in a minute actually, you'll see that. You know, the little blue marker on the HUD when you're using speed control. Cruise control, so that's on the HUD. Cab lights being on in both cabs since the beginning of a service or scenario, that's fixed. And then the numbers on the front and the side not matching up in the diorama, that's fixed. So some more about the performance type bugs that have been resolved, and a few other little issues. But the major changes we'll look at bringing back at some point. There's no update when that'll happen yet.
For those who may be watching us again without having looked at anything else, is there anything interesting from other routes that were introduced in this update?
Yeah, there's been a bunch of updates actually. Let me just go through the list. This list is online. You can go and get this.
Yeah, just to be clear, you can find it on the forums, you can find it on Steam, and you can find it on Discord, and it'll come out on social media tomorrow as well.
Right, Great Western Express resolved an issue whereby player could walk through closed gangway doors on the 166. Updated audio occlusion modelling across the Class 66 front and rear cabs. And Class 66 HUD now shows the target speed when speed setting is active. So that's the stuff for GWE. Northern Transpennine resolved an issue where Manchester Leeds all-stop service on NTV journey mode becomes blocked for completion, which I think was a red light issue. Resolved an issue whereby the 0921 Leeds Manchester Express could become blocked, again red light. And improved NPC texture memory usage. So particularly interested if you've got PS4 and Heavy Freight Pack as well. Let us know how you get on with that and if it improves stuff. Main Spessart 88119, 86109 and 83175 services quite often got blocked on red lights, so they should all now be fixed. That timetable is actually updated to use our version 3 dispatcher, which should make it a lot easier. One of the things that the main Spessart timetable didn't have was stopping times, scheduled stopping times. So that's now fixed. They're now in. Brake simulation on the Habbins 344 wagon is fixed. Resolved an issue in the 146 tutorial where it would sit there waiting to say recharge the brakes and it just wouldn't complete. So that's now fixed. Resolved several instances of incorrect secondary speeds across the route. So bunch of fixes on main Spessart. BR182 add a notched position for release to the direct brake lever. Resolved an issue whereby using AFB could lead to the brakes being locked on. Resolved an issue whereby Seaford pedal state couldn't update if you were already sat in the cab. And resolved an issue on Night Rider scenario where the player could be blocked at Bitterfeld waiting for an AI train to pass. So again, a bunch of issues on the 182. 155 resolved instances of the 155 traction motor and brake hiss audio failing to play correctly. Resolved an issue whereby Seaford could trigger on the WR155 cab, leaving when driving in a loco coupled to it. Resolved an issue whereby reloading save data from Letmath Light scenario could cause a tail crash. Resolved an issue whereby it was possible to block completion of the tutorial on the 155 through invalid settings. and updated brake simulation of the Founds 183 wagon. So again, a bunch of stuff on the 155. Ryan Raw Austin resolved an issue whereby technical difficulty scenario could become blocked for completion. Resolved an issue where the end of train device wouldn't spawn on the SGG MRSS wagons. Resolved an issue whereby incorrect wagon type numbers could appear on the Shims TTU wagons. Added audio cues for open and close window actions on the 422. Resolved an issue whereby audio occlusion could apply incorrectly when opening and closing 185.2 doors and windows. Resolved an issue whereby eastbound service locos had incorrect destinations on their display boards. Changed 3-car S5 service trains to 4-car so that they were correct formations. And resolved an issue whereby final tasks in freight services were go vias rather than stop at instructions. So again, that's Wuppertal. Rules ignored. Added journey game mode. Same as for West Somerset Railway, that gets a journey game mode as well. Scenario timetable scoring has been added to rules ignored, along with medal rewards. And then there's a bunch of issues related to brake simulations. All the brakes have been upgraded on the and refitted on the Royal wagons, so you'll find the braking behaviour much more realistic than it was in the past. And tunnel lights clipping into the clear cab interior, and some brake cable positioning on some of the stock as well. That's kind of a whistle-stop tour of the stuff. The full list you can just get online if you want to browse through it. But this is a big update.
It's a big update. It's bigger than summer. I have a feeling. I might be wrong, but the list is very extensive. Very extensive. Very, very glad to see, especially some of the issues people have been mentioning with regards to services in German routes. Very happy to see those being.
Yeah. The SPAD by AI in Ryan Raw Austin's not fixed yet. It's in. They're actually we're working on an update for Ryan Raw Austin's timetable, which fixes a few different things, and that SPAD is fixed in that version, but that's not out yet.
Is that normal? No.
Sorry?
Is that normal?
Yeah, you've got a call on
Oh, right, of course.
or a shunt signal. You're cleared into the yard. Mika the designer, there's been changes to audio occlusion and a number of some of the subsystems. Like 66, I don't think has had any new sounds particularly added, but there's been a lot of work to spatialization, occlusion, things like that, which might be how they're sounding different to what you've seen in the past. Plans for Australian content? Not at the moment, Jared. If you've got suggestions, by all means put them on the Dovetail forum. The yard doesn't have that overhead thingy in real life. No, it doesn't. So this is a loader. This is an auto loader. In reality, it's done by diggers putting stuff in, and that meant basically we wouldn't be able to do wagon loading, which meant there was an awful lot less that you could do down here. So by putting the automatic loader in, what it means is that you can come in, load wagons, take them out, and do that multiple times during the day. Otherwise, the gameplay down in this area would be really quite limited. So it's a little bit of a compromise for gameplay's sake, but I think it fits nicely and it works well. It means you can do a lot more with the route. Are UK routes going to be only England-based? No, absolutely not. I'm looking forward to a first Scottish route. Lots of good options for Scotland and indeed Wales. Does a 377 have SDO? No, it doesn't. If that's what I'm thinking it is, where you isolate doors and then you press the SDO button to only open the unisolated doors. That doesn't work. The MyTrack is not got that in it.
Yay!
So that's the first part. First part of the 3 services essentially is to drive the 66 down, and then if you return to free roam, it'll then let you return the wagon. So just make sure your points are set before you move.
Do I need to change cabs here?
No, because you're just pushing the wagons at this point into the unloader.
Oh yes, of course. Well, I mean, I'm further down the line. Will I need to change cabs?
Later on. That's it, you're good. You should just be able to reverse the wagons gently in. What I would do is use speed set at this point actually. So if you go look up to the EM2000 and go for slow speed control, up arrow twice. That's it. Select. Just click start. Sorry, look down to the control desk on the left hand side. And there's a little silver switch. There. Flick that switch. Right, now look up and turn it on. That's it. Now click start. Now look down and then set the target speed, which is this rocker up here. Set it to 1.5 or 1. That'll do. And now give it some throttle.
They want the rail tour. Shall we fill this up, do a rail tour, and do a 1 quick run on HST?
Go for it. Is that like a speed limiter? Essentially, Woody. It's a slow speed control. It's used specifically for when you want to do the loading.
Can I change this on the go?
Yeah.
Set it to 220 first. Is that too fast?
Let's see what happens. Once the loader kicks in, you don't want to go any faster than 2, but 2 might be alright. Use the 8 camera and just fly down to the loader.
Good enough?
High looking down. That'll do.
At your service.
Sorry?
At your service.
There you go. Got a pro in the cab here. So the slow speed control solution was actually in the original 66 as well. You used it, but you only really used it in that one scenario, aggregates unloading. So here you'll be using it in service mode because you'll be doing loading up with wagons here.
Can you explain to me? 0 amps.
It's not applying power at the moment because the speed
So it's
slow speed
slow
speed control is overriding. Because actually you're going downhill slightly, so you're actually going too fast now.
I just wanted to brake a little bit.
Yep. Does the patch fix the broker and mastery reward? So there's I've got one entry in the patch log for player loco levels being miscalculated on mastery rewards, so that will fix that for sure. But if you have any more problems, do let us know what's still not resolved so that I can pass that on to the team.
It was good to meet you too, A22 Steam. And this is the speed at which Matt goes from his desk to the streaming room.
Yep. Hey, I arrived half an hour early today.
Well, fair enough, yeah. Well, about 24 minutes, yeah, not half.
Oh, picky.
But
There's no mastery on this route at the moment, Crazy Killer. There will be at some point.
Perfect.
Sandbox mode, we can put any train on any route, so that's tricky, but it is something that's in the back of our minds. We're well aware of the request for it. It's not quite as straightforward, unfortunately. Southern Railway fan, no, well aware of the load that isn't there in real life, but this is a big, otherwise than that you wouldn't be able to do it because there's no way we could get diggers loading the wagons like they do in reality. So we've upgraded the depot. It's now kitted out for proper modern work. Can you milk the cows? No, I'm afraid not, G. Cook Scotland.
What?
We left that feature out. It was a major omission. I'm well aware. Apologies. Now Dimitri's not interested anymore. Look and see him crying.
I'm not crying, I'm just disappointed. I was waiting for it.
I'm here to ruin Dimitri's day on a daily basis.
Can you at least milk sheep?
You can't shear them either, no.
Funny jokes.
Can you cook them? No, you can't cook them.
So you can't drive tractor, you can't milk
You
cows.
can't drive tractors, diggers, combine harvesters.
Rip off.
We thought, you know, as it's a train sim, we'd focus on the trains. I apologise.
Yes, but it has world in it, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
You
fair
can't
enough.
argue with that.
There's drive trains in other vehicles, so why can't I drive trains?
Exactly.
Almost done. On the 377, does it automatically set the rear headlights? If the rear unit is set in auto mode, then yes it will. If it's not, then it won't. So, and by default they're in auto mode. But there is a setting in the switch for, I think it's off and off, tail and auto or something like that. Don't forget to turn speed set off.
So shall I just
Turn it off on that EM2000 first.
stop?
Exit from that. And then flick the silver switch.
And what about this?
No, that's fine.
Back to,
And if you now put it in forwards, then you can go back forwards again.
yeah, we'll go to rail fan in a second, guys.
Can you walk between the units on the 377? Yes, because you can switch. We showed it earlier on. If you have a look at the video later on, we showed that you can convert the driving ends into corridors. Yeah, if you press 0 and go internal cameras and then go EM2000, so you can still look at the EM2000 directly for more easy control. Just press 0 and then internal. Boom. Once this has stopped, I think my chat's died again.
Has it?
I like that, everyone stop talking to me. It's possible.
It is possible.
I experience it on a daily basis, to be honest. Whoa, there we go. Loads of it just arrived.
Why, like at work? No one wants to speak to you.
No. That's why I come and talk to you.
That explains everything. Yeah, so let's uncouple.
Oh, you cheat!
Huh?
You cheat! Isn't it dangerously and not Jake towards the buffers?
I'm just demonstrating the power of head bob caps.
What, by hitting the buffers really fast?
Well, we can try.
Panic as Dimitri thinks, oh no, we actually are going to. Remind me to teach you how to use a loco brake at some point.
Yeah. I'm aware how to use it. I just couldn't be bothered.
This is truth comes out. The truth comes out. We're just getting the chat working again because you know what? In a big surprise and a shocking twist of events, the chat stopped working.
Yeah. If only we had the means to upgrade the streaming room. Anyway.
Right, we're going to quickly load the rail tool. So let's, I don't know, 31's the new one. Yeah, let's do the 31.
I want different time. I want
Let's do autumn.
Yeah, let's do autumn.
Autumn cloudy. There you go.
And something like 3 p.m. Oh, there's only.
You can't choose the time.
Of course.
So we'll just drive this for 5 minutes before we switch on, just so you can experience what it is to look at. New Haven Marine is included.
Probably need this, right? I forgot how to use this already. Wow, that was good. Where are the? Where headlights? Forgot headlights.
No, that's the foot warmer. That's the important bit.
Yes, exactly. Where was it? Wasn't it here somewhere?
That's the instrument lights. Headlights are on the back.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Road indicators there.
That's it. Geordie boy, we did the 377 gangway procedure early in the stream. If you just look at the video when it gets uploaded to YouTube later on.
Looks nice.
No news on the editor, Casper. Oh yeah, don't forget to turn AWS on. Your agent cheat. Well then. That's it.
Oh, I like that sound.
What locomotives are on the rail tour? So anything TVL leads or the DLCs for them. So 45, 47 in BR Blue, 40, 31, 37 in rail freight. I think that's it. I might have missed one or two. Oh yeah, the editor's definitely still in the pipeline, Casper. Yeah, we had good access to the 377 for reference and for audio capture and so forth, Thelonious. .377, yeah, it's got the guard bell. I'll let everybody in the stream let you know how it sounded because we did ring the guard bell a few times. People seemed happy. This is Lewis, Woody TV. Some people pronounce it Lewis. Those people just don't know better. It's called Lewis.
So we're soon leaving Lewes. I'm just gonna let this 377 out.
there a rescue mission on this route? No, there isn't. There is a like a track maintenance type thing, which is the one with the top and tail 66, which is pretty fun. Nicholas, 5 scenarios. There's 3 tutorials and 240 something services, and then the journey mode is around 24 hours of gameplay as usual. I think we're just waiting for that train to clear our section now, and then we'll get a light to go. Well, one of the really nice things about this route, Schnauzer, is even though the route itself, it's 23 miles from Brighton to Eastbourne, plus another 7 for the branch line, is the different types of service diagrams that are on the route, and the other different types of services. The freight light run isn't especially long, but if you do the run down to New Haven, all the loading and runarounds, and then the run back, it's still a good 45-50 minutes for that whole sequence. So there's quite a lot of different things to do on the route, rather than having one thing you do for 3 hours.
Wow. That was a nice jump. Really chat, I mean. Oh man, it almost feels like having a minute.
And we have more action points for using AWS, etc. Definitely want to be doing that at some point, Cayman. There's no plans to announce on that yet, but yeah, I'm well aware of and I share the desire for that. Do the service mode trains go off the edge of the map, or they go back and forth? They go off the edge of the map, or they go back and forth depending on what they should do. So some trains will go into Eastbourne, and then they'll come off Eastbourne and head up the other line as if they're going towards Orr, and they'll come back later on to Eastbourne, and then you can drive them from Eastbourne to Brighton. This one, for example, just arrived from the portal as if it's come from the Brighton main line. So if you spawn 10 minutes earlier, then you'll see the 31, or you'll see a random train bringing the rail tour in. The 66 is on the back because of top and tail, so when this train gets to Eastbourne, it would then need another loco to be hauling it the other way, because there's not really any facilities for run around easily, and they would enter it's because this line is really run by EMUs now. It's difficult to do that, so basically they just run they run them top and tail. It also means that when in reality they run these services, they don't have to think about whether the driving loco's got train heating, although the 66 doesn't, I don't think. So, bad example, but normally means that they can have a support loco which supplies train heating. Thrash. The other nice thing about having the 66 on the back, more weight, which means more thrash. A22, I got a question for Dimitri. Go on. I'll pass your question on.
I hope it's like a reasonable, like normal question and not some kind of Right, is that enough, guys? Shall we switch to HST now?
Yep, let's have a look at the HST, blasting along with some cab sway just to finish up.
I love it. favorite locomotive by far. Oh, hope I have it. Yes, thank God. For a second, I thought that I might not have it.
Pick something. There you go. Oh, that's LOCOMOTIVE. That's not going to get you very fast.
I want to start from Paddington.
Yep, that'll do. I was doing a service last night because I wanted to show the cab sway off on my PlayStation, and the service I picked, you get stuck at a red light, then you get stuck behind a train, then you get stuck at another red light. And it's just like, I want to go fast. I'm here for speeds, not for slows and stops.
Yeah, for those who are actually fans of DS1, we have a new German route coming out tomorrow as well. Kiel-Lübeck, based in North Germany. So this is something for you to look forward to if you are a fan of Germany and DS1. They're coming out at the same time.
Dimitri, is there any way on the forum of making a separate subject tag for screenshot contests as you have trouble finding it?
Separate subject tag? I'm not sure what you mean. What do you think they might?
Send Dimitri a DM on the forums.
Yeah. Because, yeah, I mean, yeah, I understand where you're coming from. Okay, gosh, when was the last time I've drove this? Oopsie. That model still looks epic. Headlights, where are they?
Left hand side, that's it. Big switch, turn it right once. And don't forget your safety systems.
Ah.
Come on, we're going to do it.
No, where are they?
Those two top switches on the right hand side.
These?
No, up.
Two, one.
No, there. Here and here.
Oh, there, of course.
David C. Sway is a core feature now that every train, every gate, on every route. To different levels. Different routes have got different level of track roughness. So you'll find some routes, you'll look at this route for example, when you're hitting 100 miles an hour, you'll see it bouncing all over the place. Another route, like Rosig Nord, is quite flat. But that's just down to the way the roughness is set up on the track. Things like acceleration, deceleration are obviously common, but remember trains don't really accelerate and decelerate very quickly. So you don't see a great deal of it. Something like the 182, if you just ram it into full power, it'll probably force you out the back of the train. And I saw some people the other day experimenting with certain extremes of, well,
yeah.
Let's just say they weren't paying much attention to speed limits. We were going to get brightness contrast sliders. I'll add it to the list to have a look at, Schnauzer.
I actually wanted to ask, it's along with this, is field of view possible?
The field of view is what you get with a mouse wheel.
Not field of view, depth of field.
Depth of field. It's something we did look at in the early days because Unreal does depth of field, but it really didn't look very good, so it needed tuning. So it's on the list to look at some point when we get time to look at adding other improvements.
It's just sometimes I feel like I want to take a screenshot of the cap, but I cannot fit everything on the screen, and it would be quite useful for that.
I definitely wouldn't hold your breath, Noodle Strucker. It's not coming in the next couple of minutes.
Noodle Strucker. That's new.
Remember, you've got a yellow light coming up. So yeah, a bunch of people asking about will we make an X, or have we made an X, or when is an X going to be coming out, whether that X is a route or a train or a feature. And as always, announcements of new stuff will go out via the official channel, via the normal social media channels first, and then we can waffle about it on here later on. But at the moment, there's nothing announced.
So this is currently what we are seeing, this movement. This is previous, or this is new, or
No,
is it a
this is
combination
new.
of
So
both?
what you had before. So if you press the 3 camera and go move the camera so that as if you were hanging out the window of the coach behind.
Like that?
Keep going a bit further. That's it. Now turn around and look at the power car. And try and angle it to where you can see both of them together.
Yeah.
Right, you see how there's movement going on between those two? Right, that's based on, so the axles are basically being moved according to roughness on the track. The suspension model from the trucks is then, the bogies is then moved, transferring energy onto the body. That makes the body then rock around on top of the bogies. And all of those are then moving independently. So that's the motion you're seeing. Now in the cab, when you're now seeing that rocking, that's the rocking that you were just seeing outside.
Mm-hmm.
You never used to be able to see that because the camera would move with it, whereas now they're moving independently.
Cool. This is really awesome. What are you trying to do?
Switch there.
This?
Yeah.
Gauge?
Turn it up, yeah.
Gauge? Sorry.
Thank you. If you go further, having never been on a train, could you compare the cab, say, in a real train cab? So I've not been in lots of train cabs, but actually not that long ago, I had the opportunity to have a ride in a Javelin, a Class 395 train cab, and I was really surprised at how much bouncing around there was, on one of the most modern railway lines in the UK with one of the most modern trains in the UK. And bearing in mind, when you're in it as a passenger, you really don't feel it. But then as a passenger, you're sitting between two bogies. So even if these are moving around quite a lot, the middle area there is not really moving around very much at all. So it eliminates a lot of the motion. When you're in the cab, you're over one of the bogies or even outside one of the bogies, which means that you're getting sort of more of extreme movement. So trains, cabs move around quite a lot. Is GWE more or less modern than East Coastway? East Coastway is definitely more modern than GWE. GWR, can it be called a historic route? I'm not sure.
Getting there in terms of speed.
Yeah, HST is not
Almost there.
fast at accelerating or decelerating. Does East Coastway use HSTs? No. No, it's all Southern Electrics down there. Reason the West Somerset locos aren't including rail tour service is because they're all set up there because it's all air brake stock, and there were some problem. Originally, we wanted to put all the West Somerset locos in there, but it caused problems interacting with the air and brake vacuum. They weren't quite setting up correctly, so we took the West Somerset stock out so that it would make sure it would always work. Whether you want all the railways by Saturday, yeah? Cool. Steam locos still on the plan, Colonel Shea? Nothing to announce on that yet. Definitely want to do them. Can you tell us if another UK modern route could be on the way? Can't tell you about anything that isn't announced, Storks.
You can notice quite significant bouncing now at 100 miles per hour.
Oh yeah, definitely. Crash, what's your question? What am I missing? Ask again, mate.
So, Matt, what are you having for dinner today?
What am I having for dinner? I haven't got a clue.
I'm definitely having Mackey's, 100%.
The 2+4 HSTs have actually got slightly different cabs, Soggy Flannel. When I went to Old Oak Common to do the train stroking video that everyone really enjoyed, I actually the cab I was in there is one of the castles, and they've got some blue lights and so forth for train passenger door interlocks on them. So it is subtly different. It's not the same thing. These are little details that everyone's really keen to see, so it's not just a question of deleting some coaches.
Nearly there. Yeah, well, unfortunately McDonald's is probably the only safe takeaway in the whole area, so...
There's no plans to expand East Coastway at the moment, Storks. There's background work going on in passenger information systems all the time. Oh, Crash, that's your question. So one of the things that you're seeing in East Coastway out of that work is the new dot matrix display system. And that's come out of some of the work that's been done towards platform passenger information system. So it's all step changes that increase the fidelity of what we're doing all the time.
Look at how much it's shaking now.
Sorry?
Look at how much it's shaking.
Oh yeah.
125. Yes, there we go, guys. Speed reached. Alright, let's give it 5 more seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's it. That's it.
Fail.
Yeah, so thank you very much, guys, for joining us for the East Coastway stream. Also, I guess we will want this opportunity to thank you for a great year.
Yes, definitely. I think it's our last stream of the year, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think there will be any more streams. So it's been a year for me as well, because I started like very beginning of January. So last stream of the year. Great. It was great year. We've seen lots of amazing releases, and we've
had some great feedback as well.
Great. I was going to say that.
I stole your thunder.
No, it's no problem. Yeah, a lot of feedback and really shaping up the things that we're doing, and so yeah, we're all wishing you great holidays ahead of you guys. Yeah, so East Coast is releasing tomorrow. This is like a small sort of a Christmassy activity you can do while all your family is having fun. You'll just be sitting there and playing. And yeah, thank you, Matt, for coming again. And
thank you for having me.
And yeah, there's actually a giveaway running. There's some merch we give out, like a t-shirt, a cap. On our social media you can find it, and there's also a Christmas card which might or might not be signed by some interesting people here at the company. So if you want, just go ahead and to our Twitter or Facebook, you should scroll down. There should be a Gleam giveaway a couple of days ago. Find that, and all the details are in there. But yeah, I'm not going to be holding you guys up anymore, and I think we'll wrap it up here. Cheers.
All right, folks. Thanks very much for watching.
Cheers, guys.
And have a great Christmas.
Have a great
Take
Christmas.
Care.
I'll
Enjoy
see
the
you
room
next year, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.